follow up our great conference last month that Dr. Prashant was one of a speaker. We asked him to give uh, a lecture, special lecture to our audience, uh, about 20 minutes of lecture and then 1 hour of question and answer from you, our audience. I just moved to Hebrew. Just a second, just a minute, Parshan, please. Uh, I will tell the audience a little bit about your background. דוקטור פרשנט קאקודיי מתגורר בקיימברידג', אנגליה. הוא בעל רקע כרופא בכירורגיית אף, אוזן וגרון, ובריאות משולבת. במשך 30 השנים האחרונות הוא עוסק בהבנה, תרגול והוראה של עקרונות רוחניים והוליסטיים של חיים ובריאות, שילוב של חיים ובריאות. חיבר מספר ספרים ודעותיו על בריאות תחת הכותרת מושג הבריאות הכוללת. הוצגו בפני מוסדות רפואיים שונים, כולל ארגון הבריאות העולמי וה-WHO. רעיונותיו על תודעה ובריאות הובילו אותו לארצות ביותר מ-80 מדינות, ואנחנו שמחים כאן לארח אותו אצלנו בישראל. והיום פרשנט ידבר על תודעה גבוהה וחיי היום-יום. איך מקשרים את התודעה הגבוהה עם החיים היום-יומיים. So, Parshan, please start to talk about the higher consciousness and the day-to-day life on earth. I welcome you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ali, and thank you for inviting me, and it is an honor to be in this gathering and discuss this subject, which is very central to all human beings. But before we talk on this further, I wanted to show a video of just a few minutes. It's a long video, but we are going to see just 4 or 5 minutes of this video, and it will also give a chance for others who are going to arrive. That will be a good opportunity also. So if it is okay, we can show the video now.
In the spring of 2019, a 5-year-old Australian girl named Emily sat in her living room staring at a photograph on the television screen. Her mother, Sarah, was watching a documentary about British royalty when Emily suddenly went pale. She pointed at the woman in the elegant gown and whispered words that would change everything. "That's me. I remember the car. The tunnel was so dark." The woman in the photograph was Princess Diana, and Emily had never seen this image before in her life. What happened next would lead to one of the most documented investigations in past life research, involving Dr. Jim Tucker from the University of Virginia's Division of Perceptual Studies. Because Emily didn't just recognize Diana's face, she knew things about the princess's private life that had never been published anywhere. Details so specific, so intimate, that even Diana's closest friends would struggle to verify them without checking personal records. This is the story of how a child from Brisbane, Australia, remembered being one of the most photographed women in history. Emily was born in December 2014, 17 years after Princess Diana passed in that Paris tunnel. She grew up in a modest home in Brisbane's suburbs. Her parents, Sarah and Michael, were both teachers. They weren't particularly interested in British royalty. There were no Diana books in the house, no documentaries playing on repeat, no princess obsession that many young girls develop. Sarah first noticed something unusual when Emily was just 3 years old. They were walking past a toy store when Emily stopped at a window display featuring various dolls. "I used to have so many more than that," she said quietly. Sarah laughed it off. What 3-year-old doesn't want more toys? But the comments continued. At 4 years old, Emily began drawing the same scene over and over. A woman in a car, a tunnel, darkness. She would become anxious when they drove through Brisbane's tunnels. "The walls are too close," she would say, gripping her mother's hand. "Just like before." Sarah mentioned these incidents to her pediatrician during a routine checkup. The doctor suggested they were likely just fragments of dreams or overheard conversations. Children Emily's age have vivid imagination. There was nothing to worry about. Then came that afternoon in 2019. The documentary, the photograph, and Emily's declaration, "That's me." Sarah sat down next to her daughter. "Emily, honey, that's Princess Diana. She was a real person who lived in England." Emily nodded, her eyes still fixed on the screen. "I know. I lived in a palace. But I wasn't happy there. The walls were too big and everyone was always watching." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. She decided to test this. "What else do you remember about living there?" What came next was delivered in the matter-of-fact tone only a 5-year-old can manage. "I had 2 boys, William and Harry. William was serious, like a little grown-up. Harry was always laughing, always getting into things. I worried about them all the time." She paused. "I still worry about them." Sarah's hands were shaking as she pulled out her phone. She knew Princess Diana had 2 sons, but Emily shouldn't. They'd never discussed the royal family. She began recording. "Can you tell me more about William and Harry?" Sarah asked. Emily's face lit up. "William used to wake up early and come to my room. We had this game. He would pretend to be a knight, and I would be the dragon. But I always let him win because—" She trailed off, a shadow crossing her face. "Because I knew I wouldn't be there forever." Sarah felt her throat tighten. This was beyond imagination. This was something else entirely.
Thank you. The encouragement for the participants, if you are comfortable to come in the camera, and it is a more interactive gathering, and we want to make it more interactive if it is possible and if you are comfortable. The big question connected with what we have seen so far, who is she? Is she Diana or is she Emily? You can answer this. So we saw this Emily saying, I am, that is me, so she's seeing Lady Diana. And this case is studied by Division of Personality Studies, Perceptual Studies in Virginia. And it is like documented and verified. They find that with the facts that what she speak about is absolutely verifiable. And they even got the person from the Kensington Palace to speak with this child and ask the details, about wardrobe and this and what she kept in the wardrobe. So no one else been in that wardrobe and no one else has been in that bedroom, and she could tell them. So there is such details. But a question for us, who is the person? Is she Diana or is she Emily? Enough. So I want to answer? Anyone want to answer? Oh, they can speak or ask, type or. Something that we discussed in our talk in the last time, and in this talk, our argument was, we said there is a physical and there is an invisible reality, and that the physical world is what we can see through our senses, and there is a world beyond our senses. And we give the example that when we are talking about a physical body, let us say here is a person who is 80 years of age, and same person says he was in school when he was 10 years of age. And this is your experience, my experience, that it is, we don't say it was somebody else in the school. I was in the school. And when we use the word I, we are talking about the experiencer, one who experienced school. It was me who was there in school, and it is me here, this moment. Now, the medical evidence will tell us that every atom in this body is different to every atom in this body. This is the argument we're placing that in our discussion last time. Not large majority, every atom. Even our entire brain, its molecules are replaced within 3 days' time. If you mark them with radioisotope, they are not the same molecules anymore. Just as we breathe, body is getting replaced in a big way. And it's just one breath cycle takes 6 seconds. And during the 6 seconds, 10 raised to 22, these many atoms from our body are replaced just through air. New molecules are coming through perfusion, through the lungs, into our blood and into our body. So who is the person? Where is the experiencer if the molecules are different and atoms are different? So we have to, it becomes obvious that experiencer is non-physical. And that is what we are representing here by this image of a star. And we say that whilst molecules are changing, there is something that is constant during lifetime. The body is changing. It is a bit like there is a driver and there is a car. Car thinks tire is replaced and the clutch is replaced, but there is a driver there. There is the same driver, one who is experiencing. Experiencer is the same.
Sanji, you forget to make share with your whiteboard. Please. Sorry.
No, that is good. Yeah, that's thank you. Yes. So here we are showing this What is shown there is a body of a child and then body of an adult. We said the molecules are getting replaced, but there is something that is constant, and that is represented by this star. This is the experiencer that continues, and molecules are different, but there is now based on experience is many our other important functions. They are based on the experience. Let me come to another word. So here is an experiencer. Whoever is experiencing, he is the one who remembers that experience. So the memory is in that entity that is experiencing. Based on experience is our personality. Your personality, what you are, is because what you experienced. Based on experience is our emotion. Based on experience are our habits. And our thought happens through the medium of experience. So we are talking about the real person with all the cognitive functions. They are happening at the level of experiencer. And we are saying that this is not happening in the body, that is happening beyond the body. And with this case of Emily remembering the life of Diana, it tells us that this same experiencer is going beyond. With the death of the body, that experiencer is not connected. The driver is a different driver. Uses the car. Car is at some point car has an end, but the driver is different. Just this understanding is good enough for us. But all of this helps us to come to our next very important discussion. And let me see if I can make this smaller. So this discussion is that at present, the higher consciousness, that is a discussion. If there is higher consciousness, that means there is also the lower consciousness. And this is not academic, this is our story and relevant to us. So what is this higher consciousness and lower consciousness? Let us represent our entire world in the image of this box. This is our world represented by this. And this world comes with the label. Everything there has an end. It is not permanent. It is unpredictable and it has an end. It's a world which is not in our control. That is another thing. Such is the world we are in. By itself, it is not a problem, but it becomes a problem when I create dependency on it. So if I come in this world and create one little dependency, bondage, and using the word my is a word of bondage. So here is a word, but I start creating this dependency. And now what happens? This world is unpredictable and I am relying upon it in some respect. That creates in us the subconscious panic, helplessly. This is relevant because it helps us understand how this human personality where it is going and what has happened to us and what is our potential, what are the options, helps us understand this at a very personal level, but also the larger human family. So there is this panic, and panic is just because I have created this dependency on this unpredictable world. It is almost like taking support of a broken branch. When I take support of a broken branch, it will not give me support, it will not make me comfortable, it will not make me secure. It will make me feel worse because I rely upon it and it is broken. This box that we are showing, it is worse than a broken branch because it is going to end. There is something called end and it is unpredictable, not in my control. Now, in our confusion, what we are doing, because there is panic, I create more attachments here. And this is what is represented by this downward spiral. We create more and more attachments, thinking that that will make me secure, that will address my subconscious panic. And what happens? More attachments, there is more panic. We just compound our problem. And this the situation just is the cause of our inner misery. The only reason there is sorrow in the world is because of this attachments in this downward and this downward spiral. So we find ourselves insecure because everything of ours is, so unpredictable. We just don't know what is to happen to everything of ours.
Prashant, I have to keep a frame of a time, and we pass the time of 20 minutes. It's already 23 minutes. I'm sorry to put it
Good. Yeah.
in our envelope and let our audience to have the opportunity to ask questions because they don't understand. Some of them use signals here on the whiteboard. What is this spiral? What is the frame? And why you say that people are in panic and they feel unsecure. I will open if someone want to ask question, please in English, and you have to raise your hand. You see below is a signal of heart. You press on the heart, and then you can raise your hand, and I will give you permission to ask the question. Everybody will hear you and the audience a question, and if you have problem with English, I will translate to English. Please, who want to be the first one? Don't be shy because it's very complicated. People are not understand. Most of the people, I say most of the people, let's say 99%, 0.9, not understand what is high, what is low, what is transformation, and what's going on between upper life and bottom life and day-to-day life. And so please ask the question. You have a best teacher here to answer. Yes, please. Um, Tony, I see that Einat, please. Zellinger.
Um, thank you, Prashant. It's very interesting always to hear you. So I guess maybe it is something you were supposed to continue talking about, but looking at the experiencer point of view compared to the closed box, I'm interested to hear your perspective, because I guess it has to do with how to get out of this panic situation, or having another perspective of life from the experiencer point of view. So I'd be happy to hear your view about it.
Pרשנט, please.
Yes, sure. Give me
And
one
that you can
second.
close your hands if you want. You make share.
Yes, yes. Hello. We were seeing that the only reason there is this panic is because we are taking support of a broken branch. That is the sort of the logic here. So this whole physical world, we said, is like a broken branch. If we somehow have a lifestyle where we are involved in this world, but at the same time don't take support, involved but not create attachment, then we are free from this whole cycle of panic. And this is done very, very beautifully by a guest. A guest in the house is very much involved in the house. Imagine there is a household, and there is a father, and there's a mother, the children, and there's a guest. Who is most secure amongst all this? Who has minimum attachments? The guest. Guest is also involved in the house. He is also sitting on this chair, but he has minimum zero attachments to anything. He is involved and detached. So detached involvement. As a result, what happens? He internally is light. Guest is the one who enjoys the place more than anyone else. He is free to come, he is free to go. He can also help the household. He can, whatever ideas, he can give his ideas. Many times it happens here where we live, some guests come and they help in the kitchen and they want to clean things, and they say they are not having the same happiness to do things in their own home, but they are doing here with happiness. And why? What happens? Because they are guests. There is lightness there. There is happiness. There is no burden. There is a subconscious panic is not there. And so they do it with that lightness. Now, if we can do the same thing, even for 1 minute, be a guest on this planet. We can experiment with that. What it is like that I'm just passing through. And we said, in our discussion with the invisible, this experiencer, we saw that there is more to it than just a nice concept, that we are really guests here, the invisible guest. The experiencer is like a guest here. But we play with it. We see ourselves as guests. And then you realize that within seconds, you experience a experience of liberating, complete liberation. There is nothing to lose, and you are free. The experience of being completely carefree and free, totally secure. And the feeling that you got nothing to lose, that is very, very important to become free from this subconscious panic. And then he is a trustee. As a trustee, right now I'm using this computer. I am a trustee of this. And I don't need to, put a label "my" to it. And in the same way, I am using the chair. I'm a trustee of it. I don't need to own it. I am responsible. Very fact that I'm using it, I feel responsible. In the same way, he says he is a trustee of the body. He is a trustee of the ideas. He is a trustee of different projects. Trustee. Internally, he remains free, remains a guest. And when there is no subconscious or conscious panic, he is more useful to himself, more useful to others. He operates with a different mind. There is no fear underneath, that love takes over, and he can still do everything that he would have done. But when we are secure, we are truly loving, and we are happy, and there is a contentment inside. And your noble personality takes over when we are secure. When we are insecure, we become helplessly selfish. And it is like we go to that lower consciousness, and we are the ones who suffer as a result.
Okay, thank you. I just remark that the problem of
Eli, I just wanted to add something after after this answer, that to be a
please,
guest.
Einat, please go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to say that to be a guest in this world, the way that you explain it, when I understand it, immediately like takes a whole burden out of me, and I feel suddenly I have more air. So thank you for that. I'm going to really live by this from now on. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. I just want to add that the most of problem for people are trust. People are usually not trust when they come, even they are guests, and not trust the family they come. They have a conflict inside. But I stop here and open the question for the guest. Who wants to raise hand and ask question, please? Don't shy. Go ahead.
In the meantime, I can
In the
just
meantime, please
make
go
a
ahead.
comment to what was said. I sometimes ask, who enjoys your city or your town? Who enjoys any place more, local people or tourists? In Cambridge here, there we got sometimes 3 million tourists in a year. 3-4 million tourists pass through the city every year. And they are all the time, they say, they are very fact that so many come, they enjoy the place. They are taking photographs. Local people are not taking photographs. Local people don't even notice the things that tourists notice. And why? What is the reason why tourists enjoy the place more? Can be one place I went, in fact, a place where I was born, and one friend from Europe, she was there when I was there, and she said, I don't want to sleep at night because I am enjoying it so much that if I sleep, I am wasting my time. I want to stay awake. I said, goodness, I was born in this place. I did not think like this, that it is such an amazing, wonderful place. So why tourists enjoy more? Just because they are guests. Whereas local people, they have gone into the spiral already. They got me, my within that place, and they have already created that subconscious panic. And in a mind is like this, even one drop of fear is enough. It is like it spoils the mind. If there is zero drop of fear or panic or anger, then mind experiences something different. Here we have the option to experiment for 1 minute or maybe 5 minutes to to see what it is like. Zero attachments here. So when we are saying invisible guest, he says he owns nothing here. As it was said, even ideas and opinions, he is using those ideas, using this opinion. He is a trustee of everything. To really try and get a feel of this, and you discover a mind where there is zero drop of anything negative. It is the biggest luxury anyone can ever have, because then you understand our flip side, our potential, what human beings are capable of experiencing.
Is anyone want to ask a question, please? Go ahead. And just until someone asks a question, I will make a note that the tourists are in a state of mind of tourists is less responsibilities. So he's free, he's more free. He have free, little bit free his mind, and then something can come up between the subconsciousness and the consciousness, and why people want to go out to the countryside to write a book, because they change the atmosphere around them, and then something is like the screw, we release the screw a little bit, and then you can be with yourself and do something different with trust, insight, trust yourself. The problem I see is the trusting of yourself first. Am I right, Parshant?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. You have to start with the self. Yeah.
Okay, so audience, let's go. Otherwise, I will ask him question all the night. White nights.
I want to add one more aspect, if it is okay. Whilst they are any other question, want to share? Is it a good time to share?
Go ahead, share.
We spoke of this case of Lady Diana, and Lady Diana passed away in 1997. And this girl, Emily, she was born in 2014, 17 years later. And Ian Stevenson, Jimmy Tucker, that institute in Virginia, they are studying cases of this kind. They find them, they're perceptual studies. So there are different cases from the different countries. When they come across cases of this kind, they inform them, and some interesting ones, good cases, they got team people working, studying, and inform, and definitely worth reading more about this. Ian Stevenson, his one book is called Reincarnation and Birth Defects. Reincarnation just gives us an idea that there is something more than our present world. We are caught at a very physical level, so there is something more than just a physical body. So they have got now more than 25,000 cases just of reincarnation. They have got cases that speak of life in between the births. They say disembodied existence. And the reincarnation doesn't happen straight away. Like in this case of Emily, there was a period of 17 years in between. And she speaks of silence. She was in silence. Many people speak like that. Some don't remember anything. Some speak that they remember the time they were in silence. And some were observing things. They know what is happening. They inform cases. In Syria, there was one case which is in the media, so you will be able to locate that case. And in this case, one child informed the police who killed him in the earlier life. And this child is informing, complaining that our children, police will take seriously. But this child told where the weapon is hidden. The child informed the details, and police were able to find the weapon. Police found the fingerprints. Police caught the person. He told the name of the person who killed him. He caught the person, and fingerprints match with that person's fingerprints, and he confessed, and he was sentenced. This whole thing happened based upon the evidence from a reincarnated child, and to the satisfaction of the legal faculty. Very interesting case. But
Prashant, sorry. Just explain to the audience in your words of a physician how you can explain in energy how these pictures, how these uh, memories of persons come and move from person to person. If it's not the soul that move with the energy and all the information from person to person. What's going on in your words?
yes, yeah, absolutely. This is where this understanding of the invisible. As you say, it is an energy, but it is not the energy like the physical energy. If it was anything of that nature, we would be able to measure it and detect it in the laboratory. But this is one level further. It is not something that our senses can perceive. So in that sense, it is coming from that invisible dimension. Just like love or happiness, this is something we cannot. It is an energy, but it is not something we can see within our ordinary way. Cannot measure in an ordinary way. But enough to know that the experience is happening at that level, and experience continues, and based on experience, memories continue. There is one case, that is also very interesting for us. This is two individuals died around the same time in a neighboring village, and one died of the accident, one died of asthma around the same at night, around the same time. But one who died of asthma, that lady came back to life after an hour, started breathing again, and she was conscious. And in middle of the night, doctor had given the death certificate also, and she started breathing, and she was sitting down. So everyone did not know, and then to make things worse, she said, "I don't recognize any of you here. I don't know who you are. Just now I died of the accident in somewhere else, and I'm finding myself here." So she was full of energy. She had just come out of the train accident, and so everyone is confused and also in panic. They calmed her down. Next day, they informed the police and informed the doctors, and now that case is studied by by Ian Stevenson and other parapsychologists. After many years, she's still continuing in this new body. She doesn't remember anything of the life of the other person. She said, I don't know. I know the life of that other lady who died, but I don't know the life of this lady. This is my new body. I continue. I just changed the body. So this here is a case of changeover in an adult body, not coming as a child in a reincarnated adult body. And in this brain is the same brain she's using, brain of the other lady, she's using this brain, but she doesn't remember anything of the other person. But even her speech and the mannerisms are of the upper class style, more in line with the family of the other lady, one who died. Now she is in that family which is the lower class, and the style and language and mannerisms would have been different. But she's living in that family, but mannerisms and even the style of language, it is of the other class. That's what they observe, others observe, and the parapsychologists observe. It was some cases of this kind. You just need one case to tell us where the consciousness is and who is thinking, who is remembering things, and what is happening. The reason we are talking about higher consciousness, it is not just knowing this, but we have the option to, based on this little some cases here there gives us an idea, we can lead a life with zero drop of poison. Poison, I am meaning, fear or anger or sadness. That is all because of our attachments. If we come to that space, it starts with 1 minute, it starts with 5 minutes, we play with it, it will continue to grow. That leads to our ability where you are experiencing richness of the mind, richness of the head, and richness of the heart. In other words, you're clearer, your concentration is better, your clarity is better, you understand the bigger map. You are not operating with pettiness, but you are understanding something bigger, not as a concept, not as a belief, but you know something more. Richness of the heart. As was said, if there is no drop of poison, you experience something different. Your heart is richer, and you are more useful to yourself, more useful to others. And
Prashant, are going to take you to the next level.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
We say that we see waves in our eyes between the red and the ultra violet and all this stuff. That's what we see. But actually, we feel, some of us, much wider. We feel, I say. Why I say we feel? Because I'm talking with people that they look at me and they talking to the previous soul around 10 worlds before, and they talk to, not to me, they talk to the soul. So it's in opposite direction that you say that somebody go from this to this. People can see what's happened from behind. So something in our awareness and understanding is a lack of understanding. Can you elaborate a little bit about it? Sorry, but I'm going to deep down with you.
Yes. Maybe let us hear some thoughts from Sanjay. It will be nice.
Sanji, do you want to ask question, please?
No questions, but some thoughts about what's going on here. If I understood you, Eli, you're asking Prashant to talk about others that feel and can read what you have done in the past life. That's what you're asking, Prashant? You want him to relate a past life that other can see?
I want to explain from the mirror, the backwards. If soul can transfer from person who died in the accident and move to Emily, what's going on with somebody from behind, see what's happened for Emily in 50 years ahead, or Emily few life years before. And he can look and see what's happened. I mean that these things of mirror, between mirror and mirror, something going on, and can you explain it, how it's going for upper to day life? What's going on here? Why I can jump from what I am here and jump above and see myself from above, from another world. I see me, or in a parallel יקומים, יקומים
Universes.
מקבילים, parallels
Universe.
life. Please go ahead. I'm sorry that I stop you, but I think that is very very important for the audience and for me for sure to understand your point of view about it. Have you understand what I'm talking about? What's the question now?
Is Sanjay want to make some comments?
But I don't think I really understood you.
אני אסביר לך בעברית, סנג'י.
Hebrew, yes,
שאני בא מול מישהו שהוא קורא גלגולים אחורה, הוא מסתכל עליי ומספר לי מה הייתי בגלגולים קודמים. או הפוך, אני נכנס להיפנוזה ואני מספר איפה אני נמצא בכמה גלגולים אחורה. איך זה מסתדר עם החיים והסרט שהוא הראה על אמילי ועל שרה?
Okay, he's speaking about some media person that can see reincarnation before and tell him about past birth. And also when he is in hypnosis, he can also see his past birth. And he wants to know how it fits in your model that you explained. זה נכון, Eli?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. In the study by Ian Stevenson, he doesn't go into hypnosis and he doesn't go to clairvoyant. His cases are just naturally where children remember another life. That's all. He doesn't go anything further. And one reason behind is that his methodology is very, very thorough. You know, even he wants cases where children have not been to the other place. Children, they never were speaking of the other family, other life. These are the cases he wants. So he stays with a very strict methodology. Hypnosis, some child may think about tell us about something else, some other place, but there is uh, sometimes more than one child, more than one person has spoken about the same past life. Some famous person, someone, and more than one person has spoken. So that lowers the validity of that methodology. It may be true, hypnosis may be true, and clairvoyance may be true, but in the world of science, it has got less of the weight, and that's why they follow the methodology of naturally remembered cases.
In my thought is the same. We need the hypnosis to release. We breathe, we release, so our consciousness, subconsciousness can flow easy from life to life, and children have no border yet. They can floating from life to life easily. They not need the hypnosis. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I personally don't go in that. I don't want others to experience that either. Anything connected with the mind, we need to be a little bit more cautious what we are doing to the mind, and it is safer, to follow some very natural methods.
Who want to ask question? Please go ahead.
Let us hear from Asi. You want to make any?
Asi, please.
On a general subject.
Asi, you are on mute. Please go ahead. Do you want to go ahead and develop your whiteboard?
Sure. No, yes, I will come to the whiteboard.
There is a question. Esther wants to ask question. She raised her hand.
Sure.
Esther.
It's not a question like how I understood it. I put the focus in this life and to know that I can create my future by be zero negativity, with zero negativity, zero anger. And I can do it now with this awareness, with this high awareness. So I don't deal with jumping from here to another life, but the important is the quality of this life with the awareness that I can handle my life now and I can create it now.
For sure, yes. Go ahead, Prashant. Okay, we understood, Esther. Thank you. Esther said that she lived in a dream her life and in fantastic quality day-to-day life. Prashant, go ahead. How is meet your whiteboard explanation. She want to be inside the frame, not out. Probably. Huh, Esther? Am I right?
Yes, and absolutely true. We want mm, uh, make the present rich. The various things we are discussing, that is to more to help us understand that we are more than the body. That is the only reason. We were showing the case of Emily more to make the point that that case of Diana and Emily, to show that she's neither Diana nor Emily. She's the actor, the invisible actor who played the part of Diana, and now she's playing the part of Emily. She is the invisible actor. So this invisible guest is the invisible actor. And we just want to make that point to support it, to emphasize that that this applies to all of us. Right now, Prashant is a part. It is a part in a drama, in a theater, and there is the actor behind, and the actor is invisible. When we are, imagine there is a theater, here is a theater, and imagine there is someone. Let us take the example of James Bond, part here, James Bond part. Someone playing the part. One who is playing the part of James Bond is Sean Connery. Lower consciousness is when Sean Connery believes that he is James Bond. It is not a small mistake. If he was really to believe that he is James Bond and completely ignore Sean Connery, don't want to know about existence of Sean Connery, then it will be a case for the emergency hospital. He will be sent to the for the treatment. Serious. I'm talking seriously. If someone was to go to such a level of confusion and thinks that he's James Bond. At present, this is exactly what is happening in our world. We are saying it is lower consciousness, but it is quite low. We are all playing parts here. Even that Emily is saying, I am her. She's neither Diana, she's neither Emily. There is the actor behind. And actor is invisible. And let me show this actor in the image. It is invisible, but it is a conscious, invisible actor. And this applies to us. Right now we are playing these different parts. Sanjay is the part, and Prashant is a part, and Hale is a part. Behind all these parts is the invisible actor. And we have to ask ourselves, in the last 24 hours, how much time we were aware that there is an actor here, and how much time we were completely into the James Bond world, seeing ourselves as the role has become me, And that is the result of a big confusion. And this is the cause of lots of chaos. All the chaos that happens in the world is secondary to this drop. But within that is an answer to this riddle of the planet. We are talking of higher consciousness, but it is like this invisible actor becomes conscious of his existence and understands his life is different to the whole theater that is going on. Theater, there are bad guys and there are villains, dragons, jokers. That is a theater. There is the end also, part finishes. But the actor is completely different. He is not taking the panic because of the script and the theater. He experiences that richness of the head and richness of the heart on a different level altogether. Problem is big, but it also gives us an idea. If we go for the answer, the results are big. The huge transformation is possible just by bringing about this one shift. I will remove the whiteboard and let us hear some thoughts from the others. And we'll also create some time for experience, if that is.
Sorry, I was on mute. Esther, do you want to elaborate your question a little bit after Prashant's explanation about his son? You actually live inside the sun. You are living in good state of mind, and you want to stay there. You don't want to go to any other place. Am I right? And please talk to Prashant about it. You are on mute.
I prefer to hear Prashant because he explained it very well.
Okay.
Let us create some time for experience, if that is okay. And also I will very welcome if anyone wants to ask anything. But in the meantime, let us experience it. And I will speak few words and no whiteboard during this time. We are using our spiritual sight. That is like from the first second. Wherever we are, we keep the body comfortable. And during this time, we avoid multitasking. If possible. But using the spiritual sight. And when we are seeing with the spiritual side, we can see more clearly. If it is the theater, if the physical world is a theater, then it is a theater. We see it as a theater. Different parts in a big theater, big stage. And we can also see the invisible actor behind this. And this is like gathering of many actors. They are all invisible actors. With the spiritual side, we don't ignore the actors, we acknowledge the actors. And we are aware of our bigger map, our truth. The letter I is not used for the role. We know the role, that is Prashant is a role, and there are different, the big performance going on there. So since morning, all that we saw was a theater. And it is a story. And what happened yesterday, that was a story. We totally accept the story. When it comes to a story, there is nothing to complain about. Story, there is a script, and there are many stories. There is nothing to worry about, nothing to be obsessed about. No one creates any attachments in a story. We know that whole episode is to finish, and the whole thing gets dismantled, and everyone goes home. The actors, our attention is on the actors. And here also, the invisible actor, he knows that he is that invisible guest on this stage. And he is carefree about the details of the drama, because it is a drama. He is aware of the real world beyond. Fiction. In the drama, there is a fiction. He is aware of the real world behind. And the real world is also invisible. If he himself is invisible, his world is unearthly. The theater, everything has a beginning and end. That is the nature of the theater. That's the nature of the story. Different episodes begin and end. The world beyond is timeless, changeless. It is endless. We realize the truth of everyone is immensely beautiful. They all are immortal. One is they are immortal and they are beyond harm. The story cannot harm anyone. They are absolutely beyond harm.
Esther, do you have full answer for your expectation about it? Okay, I'm not hear you.
Yeah, I don't know.
If there is no more question, I think we Thanks, Prashant, for your time. And, I know that you have a long, long day today. And thank you very, very much for enlighten us with some aspect that for me I didn't thought about them. And thank for the audience to be that came to hear you. Do you have anything to say for the conclusion, please?
That is very nice, to appreciate the interest, and it is a journey. It's a long process. It is like the one thought, we experiment with it, play with it. It leads to the next realization. This is what we all know, that it is a journey. But some discussions of this kind just promotes that process, and we all are students in this journey.
Thank you very much, and we have to keep going on with more lessons. And thank everybody. We are closing now. Thank you. On time.